Hey there, today we're going to be designing some AI art, focus on creating custom t-shirt designs. Now, if you are a designer, then of course you can do it in Illustrator, you can do it on Procreate, even on your iPad. But today we're going to use a tool, one of the top tools in the AI art. It's really trending, it's Leonardo.AI, and we are going to be focusing on what we can really do, and it's really easy and really basic. And you can actually apply this theory of like prompts to any other tools out there. I'm just using Leonardo as it is one of the trendier ones. And as you can see, I started with the most basic. Um, the subject is dog, and then all I put in was vector t-shirt art. That is the most basic prompt, right? So a prompt is something that you like to feed into your AI. And once it learns and understands what you want, it's going to generate the image for you. And that's essentially really simple and really easy. The setup wise, all you need to know is what you want to design. Now, if you're somebody who has trouble, what I do like about Leonardo is that it has a built in writing tool, prompt generator. What that does is if you don't know what you want to create, this can kind of jumpstart for you. For example, if let's say I want to create some sort of vector t-shirt art, and let's just start with that. Let's see what it comes up for me, right? It gives me 2 to 8 generations here at a time, and it's going to give me some ideas. Sometimes it could be like a dragon, right? It could be anything. In terms of t-shirt designs, that's up to you. I would recommend doing some research in terms of what you like to design. If it's for personal wear, right? If you want to sell it on for a business, then I recommend something that resonates with your audience, your customer. So right now, it's just giving you some really basic color focus, art focused designs. I do recommend always starting with a subject. So let's say if you want a car, that could be very well a good subject to discuss about, or to design and draw and sell it to car lovers. If you like anime and you just want to create new characters, that's also something that you can do. The goal of this video is to really share and sort of work through and brainstorm together, and so we can get to the goal here of creating a vector t-shirt art. So starting with the most basic, let's go back to the image generation. I am in the Leonardo AI, and you just go to AI image generation right here. And now it opens up this place where you get to enter your prompt. So right now, my prompt is up here, but you would see type a prompt. And so let's start with a subject. So I've done a dog and a cat, very, very basic. Why don't we do a bird, or birds, or a bird, right? So let's do bird. And the most basic thing that we could put again is vector t-shirt art. And then if you have a negative prompt, I would suggest adding that there. Negative prompts, if you haven't seen my other videos, are things that you don't want to populate. So let's say you don't want 2 arms or 4 arms or 6 arms, you make sure to put that in there. You don't want any mutilations or weird things, right? That's where you put it in here so that it's like, okay, I know what you don't want. Let me make sure not to put it in there. But other than that, we're just going to click on generate, and I'm actually just going to generate 2 at a time. I am on a daily token. I haven't paid an upgrade in my plan yet, but that's okay. Because of how this model is, I actually work with Dream Shaper version 5. With this model, it's already neat in the way that it works, and so a lot of the designs that pops up are really nice already. Even this bird here, as you can see, I can just pop it on a t-shirt if I'm lazy and just roll with it. Another thing that you can do is go in and paint more and do more stuff to it, change the colors. That can be seen in my other video, but for this one, we are playing with the prompts a little bit, so we're building that out in terms of language, right? So I do want a bird, and it's a vector t-shirt art, but now I can give it a style, right? What kind of style of art do I want? Do I want it to be retro? Do I want it to be in like the 90s, the 50s, or cartoon? Do I want it to be more of a realistic photo? The more that you can give, the better that you get. So why don't we do in the style of black and white? See if they can do that. Black and white mosaic, and that should give us enough to generate something. So it takes about like 10 seconds or so, depending on how fast things are. But I'm just gonna be right back. All right, so this one didn't exactly turn out how I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be more of a vector style, and instead I got something that looks like I can put on my kitchen. So um, that's where we go back in and make it a little bit better. Something dropped right there, but let's go with a comma and mosaic and see if that's a little bit better. Another way is just to change it a little bit. So you want it to be digital painting. Um, Another word that you can always add is sort of like the resolution. Is it photorealistic? Is it 4K? Is it cinematic? Words like that really helps, right? And if I'm looking for realistic, I probably don't want the word mosaic in there, but we are trying to be a little bit fun, right? So I'm going to add a few words and then click on generate, and let's see what we get. All right, so I added quite a few words here. That would be digital painting, Adobe Illustrator, the program that you would use, um, more digital painting, focus on character detail illustration. So this, I think the black and white and mosaic is throwing everything off, but if I were to take that out, hopefully that is something a little bit better. So you gotta learn how to play around with the prompt generation and see what you do like. And I actually quite like this image right here. It's just I want a better version. So if you do know like the subject, so let's say it is a bird, is it what kind of bird do you want? Do you want something like this, or do you want like hummingbirds? Do you want like ravens? Right? The more detail you can get, the easier it can be. But in terms of designing a vector t-shirt or like a vector design, like we want to keep it easy. And the prompt can also include words like, it's for a on a white background, right? That's one of the keywords that you can put to make sure that when you're loading it into your design, or you're loading into like your Photoshop or your design app, it's a lot easier to translate. Something like this, I might have to go back in and vectorize, right? So we don't want that. We want to make it simple and easy. So I'm going to go ahead and click generate and see what we get. All right, so removing black and white and mosaic is definitely better. And then as you can see, it's giving me this white background and it's pulling in some like watercolor effect. I think that's generally what happens when you do it on like a white background, but this is much better. It's highly detailed and something that I can put on a t-shirt. So if I don't like something, I can always go back in, paint that out, and request it to remove. Very easy to use Leonardo here. And even here, if I don't like the color, that's a easy and quick change, right? So I'm not too worried about the color overall, but I just want the design. So this being very detailed and very like artistic is good in a good direction. So let's say you do like something like this, I would recommend to download or upscale and download and then reload it into a design app. All right, so to upscale, it'll be on these right buttons right here. And then once you upscale, you can always just go ahead and press download image. I'm going to do it really basic and just click on download, which is right here. And then load this image into my background. If you know how to remove a background, you can just press download. And if you don't, they do have one that removes the background for you. So just go ahead and click on that right there. And it's going to remove like that background color. Once you click on that, you can just click on the no background and then press download again, and that should be the vectorized version that you have. I highly recommend using Canva if you don't know how to use Photoshop. It's just really easy to use. It is free for those of you who just want to create a basic account and have some of the free elements. But if you do get the paid version, it does come with a lot of elements, different graphics that you can do. You can just create your own art within Canva, and then you can just print a lot of things with Canva as well. So, really simply, just log in and then just create an account. If you don't have one, click on create a design and then go to just type in t-shirt, and you would see 14 by 18 inch. And then it tells you tips and tricks on how to design. Usually you don't want anything too far out of this square here, or else it's going to get cropped off. You're going to start designing. And then there are some templates, like I said, like if you want text based, anything based, it's already there for you. Very easy to use. And if you want some elements, you can just drop in some of these right here, even a photo if you like. But we are going to drop in some of the vector that we did. So if you did the no background, you don't need the free account here to remove the background. Just drop that right in and then make this a little bit bigger, just like so. And that's pretty much it, right? So let's say you want it on a black t-shirt or something, that's exactly where it is. And if you want to save it as a no background, you can do that too, where you just go up here, hit download, and then save it on transparent background. This is a paid feature, but there's ways to get around that. You can just use different tools to remove the background again for you, just like you did in the other app. But here we can start finding different things, lines and shapes and graphics. So let's say in the graphics, if you don't know what to search, you can look in here to see what inspires you, rainbows, leaves, and stuff like that. So why don't we search for a tree? Really interesting choices here. So why don't we just do this right there? Gonna make the tree a little bit larger, or a little bit smaller there, just behind the bird. I'm gonna change it to a black, just because it's easier. You can change the colors up there. Then we're gonna change it to a gray, and then I will go ahead and move this to the back by right-clicking. Click on layer and click send to back. So now the bird is on top of or in front of the tree. So think of layers as like how you want the order to be. So I want this to be in the background, and it's as simple as that. And now if you want to add text, it's also super easy. You can click on text here. There's some font combinations that are really neat and you just use already, or you can add your own. And typically for like large words, I just click on add a heading, and then I change the font name, so something that I do like. So let's say I want something whimsical and fun. It'll be something like this, and then just type in freedom, and clicking on the text box, I can move it anywhere on this t-shirt design and choose the color that I like, something like so, or just similar to the bird color, just like that. From there, you just move it around until you're happy. You can add as many graphics and elements as you want. A lot of these are free, and then anything with the crown, it is paid, but you can see there's a lot of free options there that you customize too. So that is really, really fun and easy to use as well. So if you're curious, definitely give that a try. I'm going to show you one more design. So if I were to drop in my original image, you would see that it's this sort of like yellow color. Now, if you want the background like this, that's totally okay. But keep in mind that if you are printing on let's say a white t-shirt, you're going to see a box around it, because the background, whatever it prints, it's like, okay, there's color here, so I'm going to print that too. So you do want a picture that doesn't have a background, unless that's the design that you want. So if you notice, like some t-shirts, they have like a huge box, right? and they don't print all the way throughout the shirt. It's just like a big box. That's exactly why, because um, they don't account for that or print all over. They just print within the box, and sometimes people just like to print as big as they they can, and then you walk around with a giant box on your shirt. So that's that's totally up to you. So that's something that you can do there, or just leave this white and print on a white t-shirt and everything will be white. But all of that is up to your desires, and you don't need a lot of skills to do this, right? You just have fun. You can create t-shirts not even to sell. You're creating t-shirts so that you can print it on your own, right? Make some like custom gifts, custom shirts for your friends and family. Something that you just want to wear. If you don't find something that you love, or you have a saying that you always say, that's something that you can do and do it yourself without paying people tons and tons of money for something that's just for personal use. So that's my recommendation there. If you know design and you want to get rid of these little dots per se, I do recommend trying to use some of these shapes. So let's say I don't like that dot there. I just make this like white or something, and then just go ahead and cover that dot. And be careful though. If you're not printing on a white t-shirt, obviously it's gonna print a a white dot on whatever color t-shirt it is. So if it's black, then you're gonna see a white dot. So that is something to keep in mind. But if you do have Photoshop, all you would have to do is just crop, select, and delete, which is very, very simple to use there. At the end of this, I'm going to show you that you can just easily press download. You can also print from Canva as well, but if you want to use a different printer because it's cheaper, then that's totally up to you. We're going to go ahead and just select the first one, click on transparent background, and that would give you the ability to load into wherever you wanted to print, or you can send it to your designer, send it to whoever prints your stuff. We're going to actually go back to Leonardo again and kind of look at some of the prompts that we can do to improve this image even more, right? So how do we make this even better? I've only added like a couple words if you really think about it. I took out the duplicate digital painting, added a white background, but there's definitely more that we can do. So let's say digital painting, right? But what kind of style is this? So let's say it's in an anime style, right? That's something that we can do. We could also do 3D vector art, cute, fantasy, cinema 4D, hand drawn, pastel colors. And the more you add, the better it is. And you can keep testing. With Leonardo, you do have a limited amount of tokens that you can use every day, but that's okay. It does like reset at a certain amount of time. And there's other, AI art that you can use to practice as well. So I recommend just learn and see what works best for you. And it does take a little bit of patience, but once you know what you like or what you don't like, it's really easy to get there. Another way that I look at it is you can learn from other people. Go into the community, see what people have designed for their vector art, for their t-shirts. Again, not to copy, but more just learn to see what works. These are adorable, right? So yeah, it's really about the master of prompting. Keep words that you do like, right? So words that you see that I typically like here is that detail, that cinema, words that make your pictures like better quality. And then other words I do like in terms of like art is like that anime style. It gives you like a certain style. So if you like a certain movie or a certain character in a universe, 90s cartoons, recent cartoons, or like even modern movies, you can pop it in there and they'll try to replicate a style similar to that. So that's my recommendations. Again, if you have any questions or concerns, I would love to go over review it with you. And I would love to do more of these. I just like to be able to walk you through it rather than just let you watch like a informative instructional video that's like never ending and just a long list of things. Just let me know. Thank you.